Sergeant Sophie Raboud. Would you raise your right hand, please, ma'am? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give today in the matter of the state of Georgia versus Jose Ibarra will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please take a seat. If you could please spell your first and last name.
Sophie, and last name is Raboud.
Where do you work?
I work at the University of Georgia Police Department.
How long have you worked there?
I have been there for 14 and a half years.
Could you tell the court what is your rank, what are your duties and responsibilities, and where are you assigned?
I am currently a sergeant assigned to our criminal investigations unit, also known as CID. I'm a supervisor, and I also investigate crimes that come into the department.
Tell us a little bit about your training and education.
I have over 1,700 hours of training in law enforcement classes. I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a master's degree in criminal justice.
Did you assist other people in your agency into the investigation into the murder of Laken Riley?
I did.
I want to ask you specifically about a trail camera located outside of Building S. First of all, if you could tell the court, do y'all have a camera there? Tell us a little bit about that camera and how it works and how long it's been there.
So we have it's a mobile trailer camera made by Compass Security that we move around as needed. At the time, it was actually placed at the end of Rogers Road and Millage Avenue Extension. It has 3-axis cameras that are attached to the boom that goes up that have been in place there for unrelated reasons.
Okay. When that camera, is it always recording?
Yes.
And are you able to, as a sergeant at the CID, access that camera from your computer?
Yes, that camera is actually connected cellularly through AT&T FirstNet to our campus safety camera system, which we are then able to access through the software that we use called Genetech.
And you can access that from your computer?
Correct.
What about the times that are depicted? Are there times depicted on the trail cam?
There are.
And on all the videos basically at your university?
Yes.
And are those times synced with something?
Yeah, they're connected to our servers that run the camera systems.
So do you know that the times that we see in the trail cam and any video that is pulled by the university and at the university, are those timestamps accurate?
They are.
Were you asked to review that trail cam that we are talking about outside of Building S, Rogers Road, for the day of February 22nd, 2024?
I was.
And did you?
I did.
How many hours of that trail cam did you watch?
Probably close to 50 to 75 hours. We've been reviewing different, not just that camera, but other cameras as well.
And at this time, I'm going to ask to approach the witness, and you may have one moment, counsel. I don't need to ask anymore, sorry. I'm handing you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 279. And while you're looking at that, I need to talk to the defense attorneys. Do you recognize State's 279?
I do.
What is it?
It's a thumb drive that contains video from the trailer camera.
And do you see your initials on that?
I do.
And did you not only put the trail cam video that we're going to discuss on that thumb drive, but did you also load on that thumb drive a enhanced version of the trail cam that was done by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Cyber Center?
I did.
And is that also on that thumb drive?
It is.
Okay. Of the videos that are on that thumb drive, have you watched them all?
I have.
And do they all fairly and accurately, are they accurate recordings of the trail cam video on February 22nd of 2024?
They are.
State would move to admit States 279, request permission to publish.
No objection. 279 is admitted and you may publish.
And I am just looking for the Garrett Morton stipulation so that I can add this exhibit number to that stipulation. We can do it at a break, but I just need to be reminded to do that because when we admitted that stipulation, we didn't have this exhibit number yet. Thank you.
Ms. Beck, would you mind repositioning that microphone against this? Thank you.
We don't have the cord. I was wondering why it wasn't showing. No, we do have the cord in. There's a problem. The cord is in, but it's not tracking my screen.
Let me just get off of it and back on and let's see if that helps.
Oh, well, that's that. Okay. See if I project it, if that will help. And do the old, let me unplug it and plug it back in.
Is that the same laptop you've been using?
Yes, sir. It is. Let's try again. No, it's not seeing my exact screen. You see that? It's not. Well, that's what F and F8. So, Sergeant, in general terms, we're gonna publish for the record the video that is labeled GBI Cyber Video. But before we publish it, tell us a little bit about the video itself. Meaning, what time frame? Let's start with what time frame does it cover? The GBI Cyber version, and did you individually go in and pull clips from a certain time period?
Yes.
Let me back it up a little bit. Did you look at the trail cam video?
Yes, I did.
And did you see a person of interest on the trail cam video wearing a dark hoodie and a hat and some gloves, carrying a cup?
I did.
When did you first see that individual in the trail cam video?
At 06:52 hours.
Okay. And if you got to translate that for us, is that 6:52 in the morning
It is.
on the 22nd day of February 2024?
It is.
And how long do you see that individual on this trail cam video that day?
He disappears at 07:56 hours
Okay, so 07:56.
in the morning.
And so that's about a little over an hour then. You see that individual.
Correct. In and out of camera view.
And the clips that we have on States Exhibit 279 where it says Jose Ibarra, are those the clips, part of the clips that you captured during that time period?
Yes.
And then the folder that's labeled GBI Cyber, did they merge all those together for you?
They did. Because
Okay, so
there's two camera views.
Okay, so we don't have to keep opening and closing the clips.
Correct.
The GBI Cyber video, did they miss one particular clip?
They did.
And what clip was that?
That was a clip at 9:42 a.m. of a blurb that we see in the woods going back towards the Cielo at Azulik Apartments.
You're going to have to move into the microphone. The blurb that you see going into the what apartments?
Cielo at Azulik.
And is that a separate clip in States 279 that you've labeled Ibarra return?
Yes,
Did the trail cam also capture Laken Riley?
it did.
And did the trail cam also capture her roommates who went out to look for her?
It did.
So now that we've laid all that, we're gonna start publishing the part that says GBI cyber video, okay?
James, can I clarify one thing about the stipulation that by, we're stipulating to the foundation and the admissibility, but we're certainly not, conceding that the labels that have been applied to the files are necessarily accurate. Thank you.
Very well.
Before I publish, we've got open the GBI cyber folder. What is the date and time that we're looking at on the video? Can you show us?
It's February 22nd, 2024.
And before we talk about what we're about to see, let's get a little context. Is there a bus stop here?
There is.
Can you point to it with the pointer? There's a pointer right in front of you.
Right.
And in this frame, where's building S?
Building S is over here to the right, to the left.
And the road that we see that there's now a red line on, what road is that?
This part here is Village Avenue Extension. This is Rogers Road where they come connect at the bus stop.
She cannot hear you. I can tell by the way that she's shaking her head. You're going to have to say that one more time into the microphone. Just say it again.
The road on the right is Village Avenue Extension. The road on the left is Rogers Road, and they come together at the bus stop.
In this frame, do you see a pathway to the Celia at Azul apartment complex?
I do.
Where is the pathway? Is that where the individual is coming out of at this point that we see in the frame?
Yes,
And is there another pathway to that apartment complex?
there is.
Can you show us that one as well? Okay, so that's further back. And if a person were to continue walking down Rogers Road, where would you end up?
At the very end,
Yes.
it makes a turn to the right, and it goes down to Village Avenue.
And is there a bigger road that is near here? Like, where's 10?
Loop 10 is back here.
Okay, thank you. This bus stop, is that a University of Georgia bus stop?
It is.
I am going to pause at 6:53. In this frame at 6:53, do you see apartment 114 in building S?
I do.
Can you please point it out to the court? So it's the lit up door at the bottom floor of building S.
It's the southernmost tip of the building.
I'm going to stop it at 6:54. First of all, in the entire hour that this individual is around this area, does he ever talk to anyone?
No,
Ever engage with any person?
no,
Do you see from 6:52 to 7:54 this individual go to the building S door?
yes,
In that time frame, how many times does that person go to the door? And we're going to see them each time.
6 times.
And can you see on your video of those 6 times how many times that person actually opens the screen door?
Twice.
And the nature of this footage, how would you describe this footage? Is it great, grainy? I mean, how would you describe this?
At times it is good quality, at other times it is a little grainy.
Why is that? Is that just the function of the camera?
Yeah, it's connected cellularly, so sometimes when there's motion, it the quality gets better, but then when there's no motion, the quality disappears a little bit.
And did you make screenshots of this still video at some point in your investigation?
Yes,
I'm going to hand you what's been marked for identification purposes. State's Exhibit 85, State's Exhibit 84. Do you recognize those items?
I do.
What are they?
There are pictures of the individual that was seen walking around the building.
And are those some of the screenshots that you made?
Yes.
The state would move to admit States 285 and 284.
Any objection?
No, sir.
They're admitted.
And were you all, or were you, in your investigation, attempting to identify the clothing and items that this person was wearing?
Yes.
And in your review of this video, were you able to see, first of all, gloves?
Yes.
Can you point to those? What color are they?
Black.
Were you able to see a cup?
Yes.
Can you point to that? And then were you able to see a bag? And it may not be best in this video at this point, but in one of your still shots, can you see a bag?
Yes, I can.
Can you please, I'm going to just show it to the court. Is it where my finger is?
Yes.
Okay, that just an easy way to do it. Oh, is that a better view of the bag now?
Yes, it is.
All right, at 6:54. At 6:58, what door did that individual just walk by?
114.
What are we seeing at 7:01?
We see him walking up to 114. and he's standing in front of the door. Now he's opening this outer screen door of the apartment. Now he walks back behind the building.
And now our next clip is at 7:06, so that's how Cyber just put it together. So we're
Correct.
not watching 5 minutes of dead video.
Correct.
But when you see him go to the back of the building, in the back of the building, are there windows in the back of the building?
There are.
And are there windows to 114 in the back of the building?
Correct, and it's on the ground floor, so it would be at, head level, chest level of an adult.
This 7:09 clip where I'm pausing, where, in what direction is now this individual going?
He's walking south.
Okay, and the IM fields from here, intramural fields, you're familiar with those, correct?
Correct.
Where are they in relation to where he's walking?
They're to the east of that, southeast of that, but you can access it by going south and then turning east.
Okay. Would this individual be walking in the direction of the IM fields?
Yes.
So now we're at 7:33. So between 7:09 and 7:33, do you see this individual on this trail cam?
No, I do not.
Okay. In what direction now at 7:34 is that individual walking?
He's walking north back towards Building S.
I'm going to pause it at 7:39. So at the last clip that we saw at 7:33, Did that individual go back behind Building S again?
He did.
Okay. And I asked you about the windows in Building S, and is that, States 276 has already been admitted, is that what the back windows look like in the back of that building?
It is.
And how they were also on that morning?
Correct.
Just published again to the court, 276. So he leaves in that direction at 7:33 towards these back windows.
Correct. He's now standing in the cutout window in the stairwell.
What is that cutout window?
There's a stairwell inside there, and there's just the cutout that they have in there.
And that's at 7:40?
Yes.
What floor is he on now? 742.
He was on the second floor.
At 7:43, is that a UGA bus?
It is.
Does it pick up presumably students or the people that were waiting at the bus stop?
Correct.
7:44, what door did he just walk by?
114.
And the direction, and now we're at 7:46, so hold on. So it goes from 7:44 then to 7:46, so 2 minutes are missing because we clipped it together, correct?
Yes, because
But you watched all 2 minutes in between of 7:44 and 7:46.
I did.
All right. We see him disappear at 7:44. Does he go again around the back of Building S?
Correct, he does.
And how many minutes later does he come back again to the front?
2 minutes.
And that's what we're about to see here at 7:46.
Yes.
Does he touch the door at that time?
It appears he does.
All right. And again, at 7, now we're at 7:48. Again, we lost about 2 minutes.
Yes.
In between 7:46 and 7:48, where does he disappear to, in what direction?
To the back of the building, and then comes back
So
again.
2 minutes later, he's back at the front door.
Correct.
And that's what we just saw.
Yes.
And now at 7:48, again, where does he go off to?
To the back of the building.
Now we're at 7:49.
He's back at the door at 114.
Okay. Does he touch the door at that time?
It appears, it's hard to tell because of the quality of the video, but he doesn't open the door.
7:51 now.
He's just standing in the area.
And when he left the frame at 7:49, which direction did he go?
Back towards the back of the building.
And then at 7:51, we now see him again in the screen.
Correct.
What do we see here at 7:54?
7:54, he had, from that 51, he had gone back behind the building and come back to the front of the building, and he was standing at the door.
And can you see him open the door here
Yes,
at 7:54?
yes.
And what does he do right there at 7:54?
He is ducking down.
What direction is he going now?
Back behind the building.
And we just lost 2 minutes. We're now at 7:56. So you described he ducks down at 7:54.
Correct,
He goes to the back of the building,
correct.
and then you don't see him again until 7:56. Is that right? So there's 2 minutes that we don't see in this clip, because we're not going to sit here for all this time, where you don't see him on camera.
That's right.
So you see him again at 7:56, and in which direction is he going now?
He's going south,
Towards,
the IM fields. And here he disappears into the woods. There's no path there, just woods that he goes into.
okay, and I'm going to stop it here. So in this time period from 6:52 to 7:54, we've just watched all of that. Do you see, first of all, is this person alone or with someone?
Alone.
And have you watched, in all of your hours of video review in this case, have you seen Diego Ibarra?
No.
Okay. In this time period?
No.
Okay. Have you seen him before?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, you swapped him, and we're going to talk about that, right?
Correct.
Do you know what Diego Ibarra looks like?
I do.
And have you looked for him in all of these videos that you have reviewed?
Yes.
And on the 22nd day of February 2024, you ever see Diego Ibarra on this trail cam?
No.
Now I want to move on to the other clips, and then we're going to go back to your last clip that you made, okay? So what time are we at now?
9:05 a.m.
What part of the trail are we on?
This is Millage Avenue Extension as it's coming towards the bus stop.
What time? And you said 9:05 a.m.?
Yes.
And do you recognize that individual we see in the screen?
I do.
Who is that?
That is Laken Riley.
Do you see if anything she has in her left hand?
She is holding her phone in her left hand.
What direction is she running?
It's running south.
And was that also in the direction of the IM fields?
It is. She now went east towards the IM fields in the railroad tracks.
At 9:06 and 49 seconds?
Yes.
And now we are at a different time period. What time period are we at?
11:36 a.m.
What part of the trail are we on?
This is Millage Avenue Extension.
And do you recognize those two individuals that we now see in the frame at 11:36 a.m.?
I do.
Have you met them before?
I have.
And what are their names?
Sophia Magana and Lily Steiner.
And the dog is?
Champ.
Okay. Is that Sophia's dog?
It is.
Which direction are they going?
They're going south.
Now what time are we at?
11:55 a.m.
And who do we see in the frame now at 11:56?
Sophia and Lily and the dog Champ.
Now that it's the sun has come up, how would you describe the lighting that day?
It was, I think, partly sunny that day. It was a little bit windy.
I have to load the Gentech player for this. This may take one moment. This is why we decided not to play it this way. So you told us you watched while we're waiting for the Gentech player to load that this trail cam for the entire day. What were you looking for?
Anybody that matched the description or anything that would have been suspicious activity.
It's up. I'm going to now play the part of your 279 that says Ibarra returned. First of all, I'm stopping here. At what time are we at?
9:41 a.m.
Is this still the same trail camera?
It is.
And in this frame, do you see the cut-throughs, for lack of a better term, to the Celia, how do you say it again? Celio at
Azulik.
Say it one more time.
Celio at Azulik.
Okay, was that the name of the apartment complex at the time?
It was.
Okay. Can you spell that for Madam Court Reporter?
Cielazyluk.
Celio at Azulik. Show us where the two cut-throughs are to that apartment.
Could you make it bigger?
I can. One in the bottom screen and one in the middle of the screen.
Correct.
Play at 9:41. We see some red now coming through. Well, I just saw some red. Hold on, stop. I'll stop it. At 9:42 a.m., do you see the red?
Yes.
What's the red?
It's detecting motion, the camera.
And what do you see an image?
I see a blob, appears to be a black blob.
Okay. And in what direction is that blob heading?
He's going west towards the Celio at Azulik apartments.
And during this time period, when you watched all of this trail cam video, did you see anything else suspicious or that got your attention, or any other people that got your attention?
No.
I want to ask you about a few other things that you did in this case, Detective. First of all, did you review the cell phone of Laken Riley?
I did.
And it was extracted by your department?
It was.
Could you toggle over, Your Honor? And I'm handing you what's been admitted or is marked as an evidence that states 280. Do you recognize that?
I did.
What is it?
This is a PowerPoint that I created.
And did you create it from the data that was extracted from Laken Riley's cell phone?
It was.
And state permission, it states 280 and request permission to publish.
Any objection? submitted.
Now publish it this way because there's no animation in it. It'll just be easier.
Okay.
So states 280, what are we looking at on your first page?
That's just the title page of the PowerPoint.
Second page, if you could tell us line 1 where my finger is, can you read it or do I need to give you a copy of it up there?
I can read it.
You can read it, great. If you could tell us, first of all, what was the time of Laken's last outgoing communication from her phone?
It was the 911 call.
Okay. Before the 911 call.
It was a text message to her mother.
Okay, you're going to have to speak into the
It
microphone.
was a text message
Okay, well, a text message to who?
to her mother.
At what time?
At 8:55.
Okay, and do we see that here where my pen is?
Yes.
And what is the text?
It says, "Good morning, about to go for a run. If you're free to talk."
And did she in fact call her mother?
She did.
At what time?
At 9:03:44.
And between 9:03 and 9:11, is there any activity in her phone?
No.
Okay. At 9:11, what happens?
She makes a 911 call.
All right, and we heard about that already yesterday about the SOS function, so I'm not going to ask you about that. So it looks like though your next page is about the 911 call, correct?
Correct.
All right. And did 911 in fact call her back?
They did.
How many times?
Twice.
What is the last text message that was read on her phone?
It was at 9:02 a.m.
And her phone was locked. Tell us a little bit about that. What time was it locked?
It was locked at 09:03:57, which was immediately after she made the phone call to her mother.
All right. And after the 9:03 phone call to her mother, the next activity is a 911 call
Correct.
that we've discussed. And then you have that the phone was not unlocked again until forensically analyzed. What do you mean by that?
She never unlocked her phone through facial recognition again until we obtained that phone that night.
And extracted data from the phone?
Correct.
What time were the two 911 calls incoming to her after she called 911?
One was at 09:12 and 21 seconds and 09:12 and 39 seconds.
Were either one of those calls from 911 into Laken Riley's phone answered?
No.
At some point, did she get a incoming call at 9:24?
She did.
And who was that incoming call from?
Her mother.
Is that call answered?
No.
Is she then receiving texts from her family members?
Correct.
What are the time of those texts? First one down here at the bottom.
9:37:38.
And what is the text? Who is it from?
Her mother.
And the content?
Call me when you can.
Is that text read or returned?
It's not read.
9:51 a.m.
She receives a call from her mother.
Is that call answered?
It is not.
9:53 a.m.
She received another call from her mother.
Is that call answered?
It is not.
9:58 a.m.
She received a text message from her mother saying, "You're making me nervous, not answering while you're out running. Are you okay?"
Is that text read?
It is not.
Is that text answered?
It is not.
Next call at 11:04 a.m. incoming from whom?
From her mother.
Is that call answered?
It is not.
11:12 a.m.
She received a call from her mother.
Is that call answered?
It is not.
11:19 a.m. an incoming call from who?
From her sister.
Is that call answered?
No.
11:47 a.m. incoming text.
From her mother says, "Please call me. I'm worried sick about you."
Is that text read?
It is not.
Is that text responded to?
It is not.
Oh, 12:07 p.m.,
She received a phone call from her mother that was not answered.
12:20 p.m.,
She received a phone call from her stepfather that was not answered.
and finally, were you able to determine when she was on her run if she was listening to music on her phone?
Yeah, she was listening to Spotify.
Okay. What is Spotify, for the record?
It's an app where you can listen to music on your phone.
And just a few more questions, Sergeant. Were you the affiant on the arrest warrant for Jose Ibarra?
I was.
What was the date and time of his arrest warrant for the murder of Laken Riley?
It was February 23rd at 19:58, which is 7:58 p.m.
And that was signed by what judge?
Superior Court Judge Norris.
Norris?
Norris.
And in your affidavit for his arrest, did you note his height and his weight?
I did.
What is his height
It was listed as 5'7".
and his weight?
It's listed at 156.
And at some point in your investigation into this case, did you have the opportunity to take a DNA sample in the form of a swab from the cheeks of an individual named Diego Ibarra?
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that, and while you're doing that, I'm going to hand you what has been marked as States 281.
I made a search warrant, and it was signed by the judge on February 26th at 3:20 p.m. It was executed the following day around 10 o'clock.
How did you execute it? Just tell us what you did. Sorry.
I met with Diego Ibarra at the jail using gloves. I used a long Q-tip essentially and swabbed the inside of his cheeks.
Okay. And after you swabbed Diego Ibarra in that manner, did you seal those swabs?
I did.
And were they delivered to the crime lab sealed?
Yes.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
And the state moves to admit States 281.
Any objection to 281?
No, sir.
281 submitted.
The witness.
Detective Raboud, good morning.
Well,
The exhibits, already forgot the number, but of the phone, the summary of the phone search of Ms. Riley's phone that you just went through, when did you prepare that exhibit?
probably about a month ago or so.
Okay. And since then, you were aware that,
Actually, I take it back. It's probably 2-3 weeks ago, actually. Sorry.
So then, and I'm not sure about the answer to my question. Was that before or after? I can't think of it. I don't know if it's titled Sergeant Officer Durkett had the got some follow-up information about the phone.
He did what? I'm sorry.
Are you aware that Officer Durkett a couple weeks ago got some additional information regarding the details of Ms. Riley's phone?
I'm not sure exactly what details you're asking about. I've been in contact with Officer Durkett regarding the phone, and we together looked at it and analyzed the information.
Okay, but he testified yesterday about some follow-up analysis that he did very recently. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay, and when was that done? I guess that what I'm trying to get at is, was your exhibit prepared before that last follow-up analysis?
It was during that, when I was making that PowerPoint, we were discussing the facts of the phone and looking at the phone.
Okay. Let's see, and then the security video, the trail camera video. You described some of the clothing that the person was wearing. But it also, would you agree that it appears that the person is wearing slides on their feet?
Correct.
And then there were, obviously, so you're one of the lead investigators in this case.
Correct.
And there are a number of agencies involved.
Correct.
So UGA PD, and then Athens, Clark County, GBI, FBI,
Correct.
State Patrol even,
Mhm.
right? And you had to, I guess, keep track of a lot of what the other officers in those other agencies were doing, right?
Correct.
And I noticed that in Athens, Clark County reports, Officer Charlie Krischer, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, it looks like Krischer, collected some discarded clothes from the park. Do you recall that?
I was aware of it. I wasn't specifically there when he did that.
Okay. And then, did UGA take custody of these discarded clothes that he collected from the park?
We did.
You did, okay. And then, in your investigation, you became aware of some gloves that GBI located during a search of apartment 126.
Correct.
Did you ever go by Bolton Dining Hall where Diego worked to see if they used those gloves?
I did not.
And then John Carlos, the other roommate, one of the other roommates, you learned that he worked at WNB. That's like a wing restaurant, is that right?
Correct.
Did you ever go by there?
I did not.
And you obviously were aware that the first person actually from that apartment that with whom contact was made was Diego, right?
Correct.
And that was in the morning of the next day on February 23rd.
Correct.
And that officers noted that he had a swollen eye and a red mark on his face. Do you recall that?
Objection to outside her knowledge. The officer who encountered Diego or who was there on the scene with Diego was here yesterday. That is a question for him. This calls for speculation. She was not there.
I'll sustain the objection.
Can I ask it this way? Did you note those details in your report?
I did.
And then you also told us, well, I think you told us, you got the search warrant for Diego's DNA, right?
Correct.
And also a search warrant for his phone, Diego's phone?
Correct.
And you were made aware.
Objection, hearsay. It's going to be hearsay. I just know it is.
No, it's not. It might be.
Okay, well,
Not the first question.
this is a difficult fact because this is our fact finder as well as a jury. So,
So you became
if you're
aware.
going to ask the content of a search warrant affidavit, it's going to be hearsay.
Well, let me.
Why don't
Not
you
quite
finish
there yet.
finish your question, and then I will hear the objection further.
Thank you. Were you made aware of a witness named Stephanie Slayton?
Yes.
And if the next question is, what did she say, it would be hearsay.
Let's see what that is.
You were aware that Stephanie Slayton gave an interview with the police?
Correct.
And you included some of that information in your affidavits?
I did.
Another name that came up as a potential witness was a jogger in the park named Clementi.
Correct.
I'm blanking on his first name, but Clementi is the last name.
Joseph.
Joseph, thank you. And then also in your investigation, I believe you were involved in these interviews with names that came to your attention through some Grindr app contacts.
I was with Detective Norris for some of them, not all of them.
And were I believe you were involved in the interview with Robert Thornton.
Correct.
Okay. And then were you, not sure about this one, Maurice Jones, were you involved in that one?
I was.
Okay. And then Victor Chapana?
Yes.
Were any of those people shown lineups, photo lineups?
Yes.
Did those lineups include Jose Ibarra?
Yes.
And no one was able to identify?
Objection, hearsay.
I'll suspend that objection.
And then you testified, you took out the warrants February 23rd in that evening, correct?
Talking about the
Arrest
restaurant?
warrant.
Yes.
And then helped present the case to grand jury to get the indictment that we're here on today. That was sometime in May, I believe.
Correct.
But your work continued after that, and you kept abreast of any new information.
Correct.
Okay. And that were you made aware of the new information from the Butts County Jail a few weeks ago?
I was made aware I was not involved in it in any way.
But you knew that's where Diego was being held?
I knew based off that information I had not known previously.
Did that prompt you to re-interview Diego?
I did not.
Thank you, that's all.
Redirect?
One moment. Nothing, Your Honor. May this witness be excused.
Any objection, Mr. Don?
Could you just ask that she be subject to recall?
Okay. You can shut down if you're subject to recall.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.